I'm going to say something today that's going to make a lot of people angry, really angry. But I've been around for 94 years now, and I didn't get here by telling people what they want to hear. I got here by telling them the truth, even when it's uncomfortable. So here's the truth, the plain, simple truth. Cryptocurrency is going to zero. Not might go to zero, not could go to zero. Will go to zero. And if you're holding it right now, if you've put your hard-earned money into Bitcoin or Ethereum or whatever the latest thing is, you need to hear what I'm about to say. Now, I know what you're thinking. Warren, you're just an old man. You don't understand technology. You don't understand the future. And maybe that's true. Maybe I don't understand a lot of things about the modern world, but I understand value. I've spent 83 years studying value, understanding what makes something worth something. And I can tell you with absolute certainty, cryptocurrency has no value. None. Zero. See, when I buy a stock, I'm buying a piece of a business. That business makes products or provides services. It employs people. It generates cash flow. It pays dividends. There's something real there, something tangible. When I buy a farm, that farm grows crops. It produces corn or soybeans or wheat. There's value being created. When I buy an apartment building, people live there. They pay rent. There's productive value. But crypto, what does it produce? What does it do? Nothing. It just sits there in some digital wallet and you hope, you pray that someone else will pay you more for it tomorrow than you paid today. That's not investing. That's speculation. That's gambling. And gambling on something with no intrinsic value, well, that's a game that only ends one way. The tulip bulbs of our time. This isn't the first time in history people have gone crazy over something worthless. In the 1600s in Holland, there was something called tulip mania. People were paying fortunes for tulip bulbs. A single bulb could cost more than a house. Can you imagine that? A flower bulb worth more than a home. And people convinced themselves it made sense. They said tulips were beautiful, rare, valuable, and prices kept going up and up and up. Until one day, they didn't. One day someone said, "Wait a minute, this is just a flower bulb," and the whole thing collapsed. Prices went to nothing. People lost everything. Their life savings gone, spent on flower bulbs. That's what's happening right now with cryptocurrency. It's tulip mania all over again. People paying $50,000, $60,000, $100,000 for a Bitcoin. Why? Not because it does anything useful. Not because it produces anything. Just because they think someone else will pay more tomorrow. That's it. That's the whole theory. And let me tell you, that theory has a name. It's called the greater fool theory. You buy something not because it's worth anything, but because you think there's a greater fool out there who'll pay you more for it. Well, eventually, you run out of fools. Eventually, there's nobody left to buy. And that's when it all comes crashing down. Why crypto produces nothing? Let me be very clear about something. When you own Bitcoin, what do you own? You own a digital entry in a ledger. That's it. It doesn't pay you dividends. It doesn't generate cash flow. It doesn't produce anything. It just exists. Now, people say, "But Warren, it's scarce. There's only 21 million Bitcoin." Scarcity creates value. Well, I can create scarcity too. I can take this button off my suit jacket right now. There's only one of this exact button in the entire world. It's scarce. Does that make it valuable? Of course not. Scarcity alone doesn't create value. Value comes from productivity, from producing something people want or need. And crypto doesn't produce anything. You can't live in it. You can't eat it. You can't use it to make things. Some people say, well, you can use it to buy things. Can you though? Really? Try going to your grocery store and paying with Bitcoin. Try paying your mortgage with Ethereum. You can't. And the few places that do accept it, they immediately convert it to real money, because even they don't want to hold it. Even they know it's not real money. The technology argument. Now, people tell me, Warren, you don't understand the technology. Blockchain is revolutionary. Maybe it is. I don't know. Charlie and I, we stayed away from things we didn't understand. And I don't understand blockchain. But here's what I do understand. Even if blockchain is a great technology, that doesn't mean the tokens built on it have value. Let me give you an example. The internet was revolutionary, absolutely revolutionary. It changed the world. But that didn't mean every internet stock in the 1,990 seconds was a good investment. Most of them went to zero. The technology was great, but the companies were worthless. Same thing here. Maybe blockchain technology finds useful applications. Great, wonderful. But that doesn't mean Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrency is worth anything. The technology and the token, they're separate things. And confusing them, thinking that because the technology might be useful, the tokens must be valuable, that's a mistake, a costly mistake. The Ponzi-like structure. You know what really worries me about crypto? The structure of the whole thing. It looks an awful lot like a Ponzi scheme to me. Oh, I know people get upset when I say that. They say, it's not a Ponzi, it's decentralized. There's no single person running it. Maybe that's true. Maybe it's not a Ponzi in the technical sense. But it has the same structure, the same dynamics. Early investors make money only if new investors come in and pay higher prices. There's no underlying productivity, no value creation. Just money moving from later investors to earlier ones. And you know what happens to Ponzi's eventually? They collapse. They always collapse. Because eventually you run out of new people, new money. And when that happens, when the inflow stops, the whole thing implodes. And I'm seeing signs we're getting close to that point. The advertising, the commercials during the Super Bowl, celebrities endorsing crypto, influencers telling kids to buy it, that's the top behavior. That's what happens right before the end. When everyone's talking about it, when your taxi driver's giving you crypto tips, when people are quitting their jobs to trade crypto full-time, that's not the beginning. That's the end. That's when the smart money is getting out, dumping it on the unsuspecting public. What happened to those who ignored my warnings? Let me tell you about some people I know. Not names, but stories. I know someone, a young person, mid-20 who put their entire life savings into crypto in 2021, $50,000. Everything they had. They'd been saving for a down payment on a house, and they saw Bitcoin going up and up, and they thought, if I just wait a little longer, if I just ride this up a bit more, I'll have enough for the whole house. No mortgage needed. So they put it all in, all $50,000. And for a few months, they felt like a genius. Their account went up to $80,000, $90,000, $100,000. They were going to buy that house cash. They were set. Then came 2022. Bitcoin dropped and dropped and dropped. And they held on. They believed. They'd been told to hold, to diamond hands, to not sell, so they didn't sell. And their $100,000 became $50,000. then $30,000, then $20,000. And now, as of today, they've got maybe $25,000 left, half of what they started with, and that house, that dream, gone, because they gambled on something with no value. And this person, they're one of millions of people who've put money they couldn't afford to lose into crypto. College funds, retirement savings, money borrowed from family, all of it poured into digital tokens that produce nothing, that are worth nothing, and they're going to lose it. Not might lose it, are going to lose it. Because that's what happens when you speculate on worthless assets. Eventually, always, you lose. The role of fear and greed. You know, crypto plays on the two most powerful emotions in investing, fear and greed. The greed is obvious. People see others getting rich quick, making 10x, 100x returns. And they want that too. They want to turn $1,000 into $100,000. They want to quit their job, buy a Lamborghini, live on a beach. That's greed, pure greed. But there's fear too, fear of missing out. FOMO, the kids call it. They see their friends making money, and they think, if I don't get in now, I'll miss it. I'll be left behind. I'll be the fool who didn't buy. And that fear, it's powerful. It makes people do irrational things, makes them throw money at things they don't understand just because they're afraid of being left out. And the crypto promoters, they know this. They exploit it. They use language designed to trigger these emotions. This is your last chance. The train is leaving the station. Don't be the person who missed out. It's manipulation, pure manipulation. And people fall for it because emotions cloud judgment. They override reason. And when you're making investment decisions based on fear and greed instead of logic and analysis, you're going to make bad decisions. You're going to lose money. Why governments will kill it. Here's another thing people don't think about. Governments. Governments are not going to let crypto replace their currencies. They're just not. Think about it. The government's power comes in large part from controlling the currency, from being able to print money to control monetary policy. They're not going to give that up. They're not going to let some decentralized token replace the dollar or the euro or the yen. And we're already seeing them act. Regulations are coming, crackdowns, bans in some countries. And as that continues, as governments around the world get more serious about controlling or eliminating crypto, what do you think happens to the price? It goes down, way down, maybe to zero. And people say, but it's decentralized. Governments can't stop it, can't they? They can make it illegal to trade. They can shut down the exchanges. They can prosecute people who use it. They can make it essentially worthless, even if it technically still exists. And they will, because governments protect their turf. They always have. They always will. The people getting rich are selling you. Now, let me tell you who is making money in crypto. It's not the people holding it. It's the people selling it to you. The exchanges charging fees on every transaction, the influencers getting paid to promote it, the early adopters who mined it for pennies and are now dumping it on the public at huge profits. Those people are making money, real money, dollars, not crypto. They're converting their crypto to dollars as fast as they can, selling it to you, to the public, to anyone who'll buy it. And think about that for a minute. If crypto is the future, if it's going to replace the dollar, why are all these crypto billionaires cashing out into dollars? Why are they buying mansions and yachts and private jets with dollars, not Bitcoin? Because they know it's not real. They know it's going to zero, and they're getting out while they can, while there are still fools willing to buy. What you should do right now. So here's my advice, my warning. If you own crypto, sell it today, right now. Don't wait. Don't hope it'll go back up. Don't think you'll time the market. Sell at the top. Just get out. Take whatever you can get for it and move on. Yes, you might have lost money, maybe a lot of money, but better to lose half than to lose everything. Better to preserve something than to ride it all the way to zero. And if you don't own crypto, don't start. I don't care how many people tell you you're missing out. I don't care if it goes up another 50% or 100%. Don't touch it, because it's going to zero eventually. And when it does, you'll be glad you stayed away. You'll be glad you kept your money in real assets, real businesses, real value. Put your money in productive assets. So, what should you do with your money instead? Invest it in productive assets. Buy stocks in good companies. Companies that make things people want, that provide services people need. Companies with strong competitive advantages, with earnings, with cash flow, or buy index funds. Put your money in an S&P 500 fund and forget about it for 30 years. You'll do just fine. Better than fine, probably. Or buy real estate. A rental property that generates income, something tangible, something real. Or invest in yourself. Get an education. Learn a skill, start a business. Those are investments that produce value, that create wealth. Not speculation, not gambling, not hoping someone else will pay you more for a worthless token. The final collapse is coming. Now, I can't tell you when crypto will go to zero. I can't predict if it'll happen this year, next year, 5 years from now. But it will happen. It's inevitable, because you can't build lasting value on nothing. You can't have an asset that produces nothing, maintain a price forever. Eventually, always, price returns to intrinsic value. And the intrinsic value of crypto is zero. So, the collapse is coming. The only question is when. And when it comes, it's going to be brutal, sudden. Millions of people are going to lose everything. Life savings wiped out overnight. And there won't be bailouts. There won't be government support, because governments don't bail out gambling losses. You'll just lose it all. Gone. A lesson in value. You know, over my 83 years of investing, I've learned one fundamental truth. Value matters. Intrinsic value. What something actually produces, what it's actually worth, and you can ignore that for a while. Markets can stay irrational longer than you'd expect. Prices can stay disconnected from value for years sometimes, but eventually, always, value wins. Price and value converge. And when they do, if you've been on the wrong side, if you've been holding overvalued or worthless assets, you lose. That's what's going to happen with crypto. Right now, price is way above value. Actually, price is infinitely above value because value is zero. And that gap, that enormous gap, it's going to close. Price is going to fall to meet value. And when it does, crypto holders are going to learn a very expensive lesson about the importance of intrinsic value. Why I'm speaking out. Now, people ask me, Warren, why do you care? You don't own crypto. This doesn't affect you. And that's true. I don't own any. Never will. So, this doesn't hurt me financially. But I'm speaking out because I care about people. I care about young people especially who are being sold a lie, who are putting their futures at risk for something worthless. And I've been fortunate in my life, very fortunate. And I feel a responsibility to share what I've learned, to warn people when I see them making terrible mistakes. So that's why I'm saying this, not to be right, not to gloat when it happens, but to help, to warn, to maybe, hopefully, save some people from financial ruin, because this is going to ruin people. It's going to destroy lives, families, futures, and if I can prevent even a few people from going down that road, well, that's worth something to me. My final word on this, so here's my final word. Crypto is going to zero. It's not an asset. It's not an investment. It's a speculation on something worthless. And speculations on worthless things always, eventually, go to zero. You can deny it. You can argue with me. You can say I'm old and out of touch. But I've been doing this for 83 years. I've seen every kind of mania, every kind of bubble, and this is one of the biggest, most obvious bubbles I've ever seen. So please, if you take nothing else from this, take this. Get out. Protect yourself. Protect your family. Don't let greed or fear or FOMO destroy your financial future. Because when crypto goes to zero, and it will, there's no coming back from that. Your money will be gone forever. Invest in real things, productive things, things with value. Do that, and you'll be fine. You'll build wealth slowly, steadily, safely. And when the crypto crash comes, when millions of people lose everything, you'll be glad you listened. You'll be glad you stayed away. That's my warning. That's my final word. I hope you'll take it seriously. Thank you for listening.